Hey, Rockstars, Andrew Houston here with another No Bullshit podcast for contractors. I'm getting ready to go in what I call my version of the Dragon's Den to give you guys insight on how you can, prevent your team from wasting your time. I'm going to give you the top 3 things that you can do and apply to get your team to be more effective and more efficient and less dependent on you. We'll see you on the flip side.
Until right now, this very moment, contractors have always been on their own, not as tradespeople, but being alone and knowing how to take their business to the next level. They call us working class, they call us blue collar. They say that we don't have the smarts to become the business owner that we're meant to be. That is such bullshit. You have the ability. You're more than any of that. The question really is, where do you get the insights that you need specific to contracting to systemize your business so you can get your profits to pay for your freedom? I'm Andrew Houston. I'm going to show you how to make more profits, how to get more control, how to get more freedom in the simplest, quickest way possible without any of that bullshit. Welcome to the No Bullshit podcast for contractors. Listen up, level up, and if you learn something, like the video, subscribe to the channel, change your business, change your life.
Hey, Rockstars, welcome to another No Bullshit podcast for contractors. Today we're going to be talking about how do you make your team more effective with your time and their time. The reason we got a team in the first place, let's face it, is to give us some more freedom, give us some more control, be able to make more profits, right? And actually be able to scale our contracting business beyond us, right? Our team is really an arm of us. As far as, certain roles and responsibilities. And we need to make sure that we have the right things in place. I'm going to give you the top 3 things that you want to have in place to amplify the effectiveness of your team such that they're not wasting their time and they're not wasting your time. Keep listening to this podcast if you can relate to getting too many texts from your team. If you can relate to too many phone calls. Too many voice messages, just too many things from your team that keep interrupting you and not allowing you to focus in on the things that you need to focus in on. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're not a contractor, if you're not interested in making your team more effective and more efficient, and really being able to leverage them, then stop listening to this podcast. But if you are interested in that, again, I don't want to waste your time. Keep tuning in. So let's get right into this. So one of the first things, when we look at these 3 things I'm going to be covering off for you today, these are going to be things that you can apply right away. These are things that our champion CEOs that we work with, again, we call contractors that we work with champion CEOs because they're really about becoming a champion CEO of their business and a champion CEO of their life. So one of the key things that they do really effectively and has a massive impact is they have clarity, of what their expectations are of their team, right before the week even starts. All right. We call it the Monday morning meeting. Now, I've talked about this before, but I really want to emphasize this. If you're not having a Monday morning meeting, and again, if you want to get the top 5 money-making meetings, get your hands on this right away. Just type in top 5 money-making meetings, and it basically breaks down the specific agenda of what your Monday morning meeting needs to look like. So I'm just going to, at a high level, go through, but let's talk about the purpose of it. If your team is not aligned with what the expectations are of them at the beginning of the week, especially Monday morning, how can we expect them to succeed? If they don't know what success is, if they don't know what winning is, how are they going to know what to do, or what actions that they can take themselves and initiatives they can take themselves to actually achieve those results? An example of this is, if you can relate to this, you start off your week and you get to the end of the week and it's a gong show. It's chaos. It's, the team didn't accomplish what you wanted them to accomplish. You don't even know what they accomplished, right? And you look back at the week and you're like, what happened? Well, it started at the beginning of the week. So getting alignment with your team and having a very specific structure to your Monday morning meeting is super, super critical. Because when you sit down with your team and you follow an agenda that stipulates, hey, we're going to cover off what happened last week, what worked, what didn't, what jobs need to be carried over, what material got delivered properly, what didn't get ordered properly. Then you can talk about the present. So we got to talk about the past quickly. Then we can talk about the present to go, here's what material we have. Here's what jobs we have on the go. Here's where everybody's going. Here's, such and such helper, Jimmy, you're going to go with Steve, licensed electrician or licensed plumber or whatever trade you're in. And you guys, now we can look at the future, need to accomplish this by this point in the week. It could be by tomorrow. It could be by Wednesday. It could be by the end of the week, or it could be, I need you to make this much progress, okay, to the job by Friday, based upon, again, bringing it back to what? Bringing it back to what we quoted, bringing it back to how we quoted the job to make it profitable. If the team doesn't know how the job was quoted and what the expectations are against time and material and resources, you're setting them up for failure. So number one, make sure you have a Monday morning meeting. There's 4 other meetings in here you want to get your hands on, which are super critical, just as effective, just as important, and they're synergistic with the Monday morning meeting. That means they go hand in hand, okay? So make sure you're having a proper cadence of communication with your team every single Monday so you can set them up for success, okay? This eliminates a ton of questions, a ton of inquiries, and really allows them the opportunity to give you feedback on what their thoughts are on it. Maybe your expectations are unrealistic. Maybe the person who quoted the job didn't quote it properly. And, the team, no matter how hard they try, are not able to make that achievement against time and material. It's better to know that at the beginning of the week so you can put the appropriate people on those jobs. And what do I mean by that? If, for example, say we're an electrical contracting company and we're doing a residential job, there's simple phases, putting in the service, doing the rough-in, doing the finishing, the final inspection. You know what I'm talking about if you're Sparkies. There's the similar process no matter what job, what trade you're in, right? So we might have some team that's really, really good at putting in the service, but they really suck at doing the rough-in. This allows us to assign resources appropriately. So really quickly, Monday morning meeting. Number one, get your team aligned with you, get your team aligned and set up for success so that they know success, and make sure that you have a Monday morning meeting every single Monday, every week of the year. If you even improved your efficiency by 2% a week, even 1% a week with your team, by the end of the year, you'll be 10 to 20 to 30% more efficient, with your team and with your communication. Number 2, okay? Ask yourself this question. If I was to interview your team members and I asked them, hey, what's your responsibility? What's your role? What is really the hats that you wear? Tell them to me. Would they be able to articulate exactly what their job description or job descriptions are? Because in a small contracting company, there's a good chance that they might be wearing multiple hats. But even if they're wearing one hat, which is ideal, do they really know what their job responsibilities are and what their expectations are? It sort of goes hand in hand with the Monday morning meeting, but we're talking about job description. So there's 3 things you want to make sure that your team is clearly aware of. There's 3 things when it comes to understanding the hat that they wear. What is their role? That means what are the definitions that fall underneath them as far as tasks and responsibilities. Okay, so what is their role? Okay, what are the rules of the game in which for that they can play by? Hey, you're allowed to do this. You're allowed to order this material. You're allowed to spend this much or not this much. You need to show up to the Monday morning meetings, every Monday. If you're remote, then you're going to dial in. Like, we need to know what the rules of the game are against their role. The third R, okay, is the results. So what's the role? What's the rules of the game? And what's the specific results and expectations that we have for that particular person? You see, imagine somebody in the game of sports getting on the field, playing football, and they think in their head that they're the quarterback. Meanwhile, they're supposed to be playing defense. Imagine the confusion. We think sometimes that our team is not out there to succeed. A players want to succeed. A players want to be measured. A players want to be challenged. A players want to win. Okay. And they're competitive. And they want to know these 3 R's. They want to know what their role is. They want to know what the rules are. Okay. And they want to know what results, they're going after to achieve. From a quarterly, a monthly, a weekly, even a daily perspective. So make sure they have clarity of their role, the rules, and the results. The last one, okay, that we're talking about today. I mentioned this on the previous podcast, but I think it's pretty powerful because it's a really quick win for you guys. If you're getting interrupted all the time, is we need to create a culture, and your culture, it's important to define. It's not just one thing. I'm going to be focusing on one thing today, but your culture is really important because it defines how people play. It defines the attitude. It defines the atmosphere. It defines how we want people to behave, right? Really their behavior. And one of the behaviors, if you're getting lots of texts, if you're getting lots of interruptions, lots of phone calls, you've allowed a behavior of dependency versus a behavior of solving problems and independency. Okay. So what do you do about this? A really quick thing to do is you meet with your team. It could be at one of these Monday morning meetings. It could be next Monday, this Monday, whatever. And you sit down with them and say, look, guys, I've got a lot of trust in you. I believe in you guys. I really, feel that you guys have the ability to solve a lot of the problems that you come to me and ask for. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to be there, but moving forward, this is the key right here. Setting the rules of the game. Moving forward, before you engage with me and ask me to solve a problem for you, I want you to do one of 2 things. I want you to either A, have tried something, and if that doesn't work, then come to me. B, that you're coming to the conversation with a proposed solution versus you coming to me and just expecting me to answer all these questions. You see, that changes the game right away. So if you state that in your meeting, then you want to follow that up with an email. Just make it clear. Hey, team, per the Monday morning meeting that we had today, moving forward, I'm here to support you guys. And you want to block off specific time when to support them. And I've blocked off time to specifically support you on the questions that you have. I'll actually be answering your texts and your emails and your voice messages at certain time slots in the day. So I'm going to make myself available for you. With that being said, when you guys come to me with a problem, when you come to me with a question, we're going to move forward with these rules, which is you're either going to come to me with something that you've tried and hasn't worked, or you're going to come to me with a proposed solution. I am going to tell you that is a game changer. Our clients, the amount of texts they get, the voice messages they get, the interruptions they get go down like 80%. I'm not joking, because what happens is we enable people to become problem solvers. We enable people to think for themselves versus being babysat, versus being micromanaged. So those are the top 3 things that you guys can apply. Get your hands on the Monday morning meeting, being the top 5 money-making meetings. And we're going to get more in focus in the next couple of podcasts around optimizing your team, optimizing your time, and really taking back control, getting out of the chaos. So I'm Andrew Houston from Profit for Contractors. I'll see you on the flip side with another No Bullshit podcast for contractors. Get your hands on these tools. They're free. Change your business. Pick one of these things. You don't have to pick them all at once. Pick the one that's going to be the easiest. I call it, meets the ICE criteria. It's the easy, has the greatest impact. You have the greatest confidence in it, and it's the easiest to implement so that you can get quick results effectively. We'll see you on the flip. Ciao.
Hey, Rockstars, thank you for watching the No Bullshit podcast for contractors. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button. And if you're serious about growing and need help, click on the link below. Myself and my team would love to help and give you the necessary tools so you can take your contracting business to the next level. And remember, dominate, delegate, and deliver.